that all ties into what it is we're talking about now. We're talking about metaphysical mathematics. We're talking about like numerological patterns and things of the sort. So here's the deal. In the bigger scheme of things, I'm only going to talk about in this live, I'm only going to talk about 2020. We're going to talk about 2019. We're going to talk about 2010. And we're going to talk about 2016. And I'm about to get into why those particular years. But literally, how Spirit showed this to me, which overflowed my brain, and where this is part of the epic surprise, is literally what we're doing here. I've done that for you all for the entire decade. So literally all the way back. So all of these numerical patterns we're going to talk about tonight, I've done all of this for you guys all the way back to 2009. So when we talk about in 2016, and I talked about the trumpet thing, and I talked about the timeline, in essence, if you really bout like this slay life, like roaring 20s and things, like if y'all really trying to slay 2020, if you take this material that I've put together for my beautiful family, it's a guaranteed knockout slay. And I'm saying like healing, like on not on no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no like, new year, new me type crap. Like if you really about healing, you're really about seeing change in your life, and you really want to see how all of these things are working in concert, then if you did this for the whole decade, son, because in essence, it's like you're just plugging in the information. All of the heavy lifting, all of the vibration mathematics, all that, I've done all of that for you already. So in essence, the surprise with this is the fact that these three readings, first two readings in this educational video, this is like umbrella. And this extends into literally like how we talked about the woke book. This is legit like a woke book. Cause like by the time y'all finish this bit, you about to be woke. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, no math. Straight up. Spirit had me sitting up here slaving over a hot notebook and things for the struggle for the collective, Lord. You know what I'm saying? So literally all you guys would be doing is following the outline that I've set out for you. So it's going to be a book. And, luckily, like I told everybody earlier, luckily I own a publishing company. So Spirit can tell me things, 48 hours ago and make me do this. I'm a little woke. I think we all are. But I'm talking about like woke squared, like woke cubed. I don't know. It would just be another level of the woke that we already are. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fact that I can actually like publish a book just like that. You know what I'm saying? But author of the universe, I assume that all knows what all is doing. So this is going to be a book that will be available for you guys. That is why I was leading everyone to sign up on my website. Man, I got like snack crumbs on me. I'm looking like a tourist that been snagging. But that's why I was leading everyone to sign up on my website that I'm very ashamed of as a web designer to that list, because it even expands. Let me get about it. Oh, child, you gonna get your notebook, Lord Jesus, child, you gonna wear your notebook. So all of the information that I have here, it's going to be in a tangible book format for you guys to access. And the beautiful thing about it is, ooh, did I see glitter? I have glitter draft day. But there's legit oh, thank you. But there's legit like there's courses with this and everything. So we'd have had our whole like y'all, how I talked about my little fear earlier. It tried to rise up, but I'm trying to put it under submission. Go to my website, thewoketherapist.com. And at the very bottom of my really horrible thrown together webpage that I'm very ashamed of, because I had to put something together. Everything's going through a complete reconfiguration. Like I'm in the whole process of like completely like rebranding everything. Like the name is staying the same. It's just, trying to get our frequency vibration, in an aesthetic sense. But all the way at the bottom of the first page of the site, it has like a little runner thing for pathology. And I love y'all. My freaking mods are the shit. But you just put in your name and your email. And I'm not spamming y'all or nothing like that. That list is just specifically for people because with pathology, those of you who are or aren't familiar with it, it's a personal development program that I created. And it encompasses a lot of different disciplines and it incorporates readings, but the whole purpose of it is personal development. So it's like you being able to take what it is that you're hearing in a tarot reading and apply it to your everyday life. And it's something that's very much in tune with you specifically. So and like with the whole eclipse thing where that's funny is because I released that July of last year and like how the eclipse was bringing things back and the whole like I had a therapy session with my family earlier, like y'all, my woke family, the woke tame clan, you know what I'm saying? And we literally talked this out of how pathology was something I was rolling out, but because of just different things that I'm not gonna repeat, because they might be in here. And I'm just kidding. But I've held back on it. But it's like spirit has put it really, really heavy on me. And like I said, especially with this, because it's like the plan that I had for what I was going to do before I went through my little healing. I'm not even gonna say little heal, it was big healing sickness. The plan I had for what I was gonna do for the end of the year readings wasn't anywhere near where spirit led me to go with it. And it's like once I saw the outline for this last video, I was like, I see what you're doing and you're down bad for it. You're down bad for it, spirit. Yes, she is. But okay, fine, whatever. So that's what leads us here. So yeah, dog, like we came up with the fam. I was like, woke tame clan son? Yes. And the beautiful thing about manifest is that is the energy vibration of this year. So I'm gonna hop into all of it, but I just want to give y'all that little disclaimer. So if y'all are interested in like the book version of this and like the whole little rollout of it, and y'all want to know about that and stay in tune with it, go on over to the website and join the list. You know what I'm saying? And then we are going to hop into this. Yes. Ashy, ashy, ashy. Oh God, my mods are just so damn amazing. Just surrounded by these amazing people. Amazing people. You know what I'm saying? So are you guys ready? Are you ready? I just got like a flashback of me being a cheerleader. Okay. Yay! I'm excited. So let me see, man. It's a lot. This is a lot. It's like it's the book in front of me. When I see books in front of me, I want to read them. But I don't want to sound like I'm reading them. I just might. Well, I don't need to read that part. Because this is literally the book in front of me, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. So here's the deal. Starting off, I'm just going to read the introduction, goddamn. Okay. Knowing numerological vibrations for yourself end of the year is important. Numerical patterns speak to patterns and processes. No human or process is immune to numerical influence. Your life, as well as the year, is a process of unfolding. The number of vibrations of a year offers us hints of the themes and lessons we'll experience that year. In a retrospective sense, it also offers us what lessons we missed. What unfolds each year offers us an opportunity to experience and master skills and wisdom to be applied the following year. So when we look at us in 2019, the numerical vibration of 2019, it was a 3/12 year, which means that it had two numeric vibrations. 12 is not a master number, but it's important with that being a double digit. It's a lot like how those of you who did do pathology, how we calculated the pathology numbers, and those two numbers, like the double digit number that came last, and you reduce, like, say if it's 12, like this is, You reduce the 12 to 3, it's like that 12 is still extremely important. And for those of you who are in the other live, when we were talking about those characteristics of God and things, that's where that 12 comes in. How about that? Yeah, man. It is. It legit is. Even looking at it in the sense of the hangman card, like looking at it as that energy vibration. But the theme of 2019, it's a year of self-knowledge, personal expansion, and empowerment. So it's growth through surrender and sacrifice. And this is funny. This year felt almost as if many of us were in God's waiting room. Almost as if everything you desire is so close you could taste it, yet somehow still unattainable. Patience was the key here, and that was intended to give you the opportunity to see your life from an empowered and objective perspective. We all needed to learn to surrender to the process or to simply what is. For many, this meant releasing something that has been with you since 2009 or 2010. And I'm gonna get into why that is so important. Ooh. Oh, when orange pops up, I'm like, somebody say my name. You know what I'm saying? 2019 was painful as hell. It literally was. I ain't gonna lie to you. It really was, but for good reason. Because it's like in 2019, your learning was right for you and what isn't. And when I get into like those 12 checkpoints, and I have that in my notebook over here. When I get into those 12 checkpoints, I think it's gonna start to get kind of clear as to why. But in 2019, your learning was right for you and what isn't. You're laying the foundation for your life to build upon. So it's pretty much more or less in a sense of 2019 was hard because it was almost like spirit shaking the shit out of all of us. Like, wake up. Like, is this what you want? Are you happy? Like, is this empowerment to you? Is this what you want your life to look like? Is this what it is that you want to be manifesting as your truth? And the reason why that was so important, dude, because like I said, with these numerical calculations, it was kind of freaking me out. It's like when we talk about timeline shifting, like this literally was a timeline shift. Like 2019 was like, if people ain't got off their train, dog, that's a done deal. It's like for 3 years, 2019, 2018, and 2017. It's like the numeric vibrations of those 3 years is something unique that was happening there for those 3 years. And it's like once 2019 closed on yesterday, it's almost like the cycle is starting over. But like I said, every year it's usually like, oh, it's a new chapter. This is a whole nother book. It's either those of us who came to a level of awareness with this 12 vibrational energy, like coming into the enlightenment of the hangman, that Christ consciousness in a sense. And we're not talking about like Jesus. For those of y'all who be getting triggered, don't be getting triggered now. Christ consciousness is the ultimate goal of the hangman, you know? And it's like all of that is found through you realizing that you're in a situation where you couldn't do shit. It's like you just had to sit there and take it. But the purpose of that was for us to wake up, you know? So now 2019's close, everything's starting over is legit a whole nother book. But they got some people who, as opposed to many of us starting a new book with a fresh like page and the pen in our hand of like, okay, I am, the author and the heir of my destiny. I'm in control of the situation. This is a story that I want to write. And I believe people who, rock with my channel, I don't think you could survive if you wasn't somebody who was in that place right now, where it's like you're taking dominion over your life. But they got some people, though, who closed that book, flipped that bit back open, opened it, and went back to chapter one of that same goddamn book. And they're gonna be doing that for I don't even know how long. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna send them love and light, we're gonna pray for them. You know what I'm saying? Little deliverance. It's gonna they need a little something. But with us, I'm not concerned for you all because I feel all of you guys are in a new book, you know? Some of us may already have a story concept, storyboard. Some of us may not know what we want to write yet, but the only thing that matters is that you have a blank book in front of you and the pen is in your hand. That's all that matters. Right? Dog, like that's some crazy stuff. I feel to me it's like, Hannibal Lecter, and they had him in like that glass box. That's what it looks like to me. It's almost like all of this stuff is happening around you, and you're in this glass box, and everything's like right there, but you couldn't get to it, and wasn't nobody letting you out the box. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you. I'm super excited. Like I'm uber excited. I ain't gonna lie. But the other thing that's important, so this more or less is like a prep year for the sleigh year in so many words. So another thing that's important is a theme with this year was people who were connecting to God for the first time, like understanding this concept of a higher power. For other people, it was more or less a reconnection and you being able to see the God light in you. So it's like some people got a deeper understanding of it. Other people, like for the first time, it's like really seeing how creation happens. So if we talk about like the mirror effect, it was having epiphanies where you're seeing like, wow, I'm seeing how my thoughts are becoming things. I'm seeing how what I'm thinking is influencing my behavior, or I'm seeing how my emotions affect me, right? So it's more or less coming into the awareness of you yourself being a creator as well. And it was more or less like a cracking open. So if we look at it like what do they call that? Like the cosmic egg? It's more or less it's this cocoon, this shell, being aware of oneself within this cocoon and this shell. But it's like by yesterday, it's cracked open. So everything that you are within is very open, tangible, and accessible without, in so many words. So then when we're going into our feminine, our masculine energy, you know what I'm saying? If we look at this in that duality, 2019 was a mastery for both men and women of an understanding and a mastery of the feminine energy. And when I first got that download, I legit did not understand what the heck spirit was telling me. And some of y'all saw the little drawing. I think I showed it in the Wokeathon that we did. But spirit's like, draw it. So it's like I drew it out. But once I drew it, it's like I saw it and I was like, I get it. So it's like that energy, that, fluid, like disembodied kind of energy. That's the energy that we were mastering. Is like that divine feminine energy, not in the twin flame sense, but literally like with this being our connection source to spirit in so many words. Like this is God, this is that feminine energy, the masculine energy is the world of form. And it's like this is the bridge between us and God. It's like that's almost like the proverbial etheric telephone, so to speak, because it's connected to both. So it was coming in tune with that. It was aligning with that, getting kind of familiar with her, seeing qualities of her within yourself. And the reason for that is because going into 2020 is a masculine form, matter, practical year. So the last that we've seen of like the whimsical, magical type of stuff, ain't gonna be none of that in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be none of that. It's like everything this year is very 1 + 1 = 2. It's like if you don't work, you don't eat. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you put in energy into something, you sow seeds, you reap the harvest. If you don't, you don't. So it's not one of those like in 2019, it was kind of like that where there were things that we would do or things that would kind of happen where it was just like, oh, the synchronicity of alignment and things like that. Like we had that year, we've experienced it, we understand how to manifest an energetic non-tangible sense, but now what's of utmost importance, like true manifestation work, is not just about like setting the intentions and aligning with the energy. The biggest challenge is how do you take this spiritual work and birth it into the realm of form, because it's like there's an epic gateway between the two. We can align with energies, we could sit and meditate and raise the vibe. It's like we can do that because these are intangible things we can manipulate. But it's like, how do you make, if we say it in tarot terms, how do you make wands energy turn into a pinnacle? How do you make fire earth? You know what I mean? How does one do that? And even if you look at it in the sense of water, it's like, how is we translating this into something that we can touch? But that's what the challenge is of 2020. Ain't gonna be that much of a challenge. Cause like I said, I did all this for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So the whole thing that we're looking at now and the skills that we're learning is like strategic planning, like tangible action steps, goal setting. So with whatever it is that you experienced in an emotional sense last year, like you coming into the awareness of who I am, desire to be, who I aspire to be, like your ideal person, your ideal life, your ideal job, whatever vision you got of that in 2019, it's needing to be very clear on what that is. And what we're doing is creating a plan on how to birth that now into form in so many words. And that's, us using our good old little strategy stuff. Heck yeah. Alchemists and architects in it, man. Straight up. So the other thing is, it's not more or less us shifting from one energy to another. So it's not that we're going from feminine to now masculine. So the feminine gets left behind. And this is like more or less with us going forward in like collective ascension. It's like, it's understanding we do live in the realm of the dyad. There is this, that, here, there, up, down. But it's understanding that birthing of spirit into form, right? Like 3D Earth, even looking at us, I'm a body, but we got souls and things. But that's what gives us that integration. So it's not that we're leaving behind 2019 and the lessons that we learned with this feminine energy, that we're forsaking that. And it's like, okay, now I got to do masculine energy. It's like, nah, she coming too, right? We have her, we master her, but it's like now we have to marry the feminine to the masculine. And it's like we can't necessarily fully do that yet because we have to understand the masculine first. Like we need to understand, like, who are you? Like, how I work with you, you know what I'm saying? Like what kind of stuff you like, you know? But we still got feminine energy right here, you know what I'm saying? I love my modulologists. We working this like a whole little line, babe. That's what my Insta bio is. No way. Straight balance. You hear me? Okay, I subscribe. Is that the thing where you feel like you're growing away from people? Yeah. Heck yeah. That's what I touched on in episode 1. I saw that energy very, very clear. I think now more than ever, like why I said it's literally like we're in that whole cut it energy, because it's like in years prior, you've been able to tolerate being around people who are extremely toxic for you, being around environments and situations of people that were completely incongruent to your energy signature. But it's coming to a point now where it's like zero tolerance. And everybody who was in the last live can vouch for that. Like when I pulled cards and that tower came out, I was like, dog, spirit ain't playing with y'all this year. It's like, ain't no goddamn excuses. Nope. Oh, it's a blockade. I'm about to knock it down. Keep walking. I don't want to hear nothing. Ain't no sympathy, ain't no tears. Like whatever, we did that last year. Like keep it moving. But it's like things that we were able to overlook in years prior, you're not going to be able to ignore it now. And I say the same thing for people with spiritual gifts. If you know that spirit has been leading you, like we were talking about with starting channels and stuff like that. Because like I say, I'm a resource person. We were talking about in the last live, there's people who feel led to start YouTube channels and they've been dragging their feet. It's like, duh, learn from princess, okay? Spirit tells you to do something, please do it. There's so many consequences you don't want to face when you don't listen to spirit. I'm just saying, okay? Speaking from experience here. But I was telling them in the last live that I wouldn't mind starting a mentoring group of people who aspire to start channels, like especially like tarot channels. Like, dude, we could literally have a powwow group and literally like I can help you start a channel, tell you what it is that you need. Like that's no qualms for me. Because the true story of it is we're all doing spiritual work, we all have a mission, and it's like we're assigned to different groups. For me, any person who, and I feel so weird in saying that, but any person who is a student of me, you won't be a student for long because I'm not a teacher of lifelong students. Not necessarily in the sense that we shouldn't be lifelong students, but it's like the people who are called to me are people who are masters already. It's like the only role that I play is helping you remember who it is that you are, giving you the tools that you need to get you into position to get you to your tribe because you have one. You know what I'm saying? So I was saying for me, it's like if you're feeling led to start a channel and the thing that's stopping you, or I mean, it was a channel, a book, whatever. And it's like I said with me, y'all, I didn't probably did everything. Like I wanted to experience like my career path to know what was right for me. So I've done so much stuff. So there's a lot of things I know. So it's like I'm a resource. It's like I look at all of us, it's like we're a collective, we're family. I'm a resource. I care about you. I care about what you want. You know what I'm saying? I care about what it is that you're trying to manifest. And it's like, if any way I can assist, it's like I'm willing to help. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where it's like, yo, if you know you're being called to do, you better stop ignoring y'all who got Reiki tinging on you. It's like, oh, what is Reiki? Reiki is calling you. You need to take a damn course. You know what I'm saying? You get feeling led to go back to college. You know what I'm saying? Just like with me, I can't even say nothing. I'm about to convict myself. With me, it's going back to this PhD program that I don't want to do. And I'm just like, Spirit not saying that to me. No, that's not. I don't even know. Maybe I had imagined that, but it's like even me. I'm like, I don't want to do it. You know, my brain tired and things. You know. But if you feel stuff like that, going back to school, whatever, you gotta do it because it's no pussyfooting no more. It's like if you were able to make it over the hump to where you got this new book, it's like, it ain't gonna be 6 months into the year and you just sitting here on page one and you ain't wrote nothing down. You ain't even got no concept and no story or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Not about to be all that, you know? I just love y'all. Y'all so good at this. So the whole thing is like it's coming into alignment with that. So what that's saying to me is the seeds for what's going to grow in 2020, y'all got a whole bag of them bitches. Straight up. Can't nobody tell me at this point that you have not gotten some sense of insight, tinge, vision, ideal of where it is you would even think to go. If you don't know how to get there, that's totally cool. But it's like there's something that's tugging on your soul. And it's like whatever that is that's the most clearest out of all those things, that's what it is that needs to be dealt with first, priority wise. You know what I'm saying? No more codependency, none of that. Yes, Lord. Diamonds. Diamonds. When I tell spirit, lead me to be a death doula, they don't talk to me no more. You know what's funny? My bestie, she got a reading. We were at a metaphysical festival, and she a Pisces, so Pisces be into those things. But the lady was telling her that, and it's like with her, she's really good. She was a social worker, so she's really good with working with people with death. Yeah, so that's something that she's looking into pursuing, being a death doula. Because with her she had a near death experience, so it's like with her having seen what it's like to have physically died and to see that and to come back, it's like she has a way to connect with people in a way that makes that transition less scary. Dog, I'm trying to tell y'all, because I said with me, I'm about to start teaching tarot, but y'all know the way that I read tarot. About to have a PhD in tarot in this piece, but you gonna know it. You gonna know it though. Yeah, man. It's beautiful. Like, I mean, I could even say like with the vibe that I feel, Like what I felt last night, I don't know if any of you were a part of that, but I told as many people as I could that at midnight to, set your intention for the most important thing you wanted to manifest in 2020. And when I tell y'all, dude, when I close my eyes, it's like what I saw. And that's why I said I don't know how many people did that. But it's like what I saw a bunch of people, but what I was seeing was like people's bodies like convulsing. Now, what that looks like to me, but it was like different colors. It was like outlines of people in like reds and blues and greens and yellows, but it's like their bodies were shaking like this and shaking to the point where I'm seeing this, but I started feeling it where it's like this energy just grasped hold of me. And I was like, dog, I don't know how many of my subbies are attuning to this wave right now, but I've never felt anything like that. Like it was like I got caught in a vortex, but seeing the people's bodies shaking like that, that's symbolic to me of like deliverance. And it's like literally, it's like as I'm like just, doing my little declarations and things of the sort, as soon as I was done, I heard this like a megaphone where it's like this old Southern Baptist song, and this lady is like, I know I've been changed. And I heard that super duper clear. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, dog, I said, I don't know who it was that set them intentions last night, but I said they got some people who then got healed, delivered, delivered from bondage. And I said, I don't even know how many people like stood in agreement with me at midnight. But it's like a bunch of people who did that have healing, freedom, and deliverance and may not even be aware of it. Just woke up feeling some type of way, feeling a little light. I don't know why I'm so damn happy today, but it's literally deliverance, it's freedom you know? And if you are aligning with things like that, spirit is working with you in a very practical way to unearth it, which is why all of this came up because we can say it in a theoretical sense of I want to change, I want to be different, I want 2020 to be different. I want this year to be my year. But speaking from a therapeutic sense, just wanting it, that's not enough because it's like we have, and I was telling that in the last live, is like there's literally change, just that word. There's a whole system to learn how to implement change. Like change is literally the byproduct of several different things. But again, that's something you need to worry about. So we got a whole little course on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. Like a lot of people, when I say are freed, delivered, you understand, delivered to see a vid on the full process. Just what to expect from the courses or interpretation on it, which is heck yeah, man. Most def. Yeah, dude, like that was some powerful stuff. That was beautiful to me. I was like, somebody just got set free. Got your little freedom, babe. Your little chains broken and things, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, it's literally a year of doing the work. It's a lot of personal responsibility. And it's not the easiest thing in the world. Cause I was joking with them earlier about that. Like, back in the day was like, I don't want to make a decision about something. It's just like, oh, let me go to a reader. Reader's like, you have gifts. I'm like, yeah, shut up. Should I say yes or no? Clarify it, clarify it. Well, it's, I don't care. Shit, that a yes or a no. Because I don't want to take the responsibility of making the choice if I'm going to be wrong. I need you to tell me yes or no so I can blame you if it's the wrong choice, you know? So it's like not want to take that personal accountability, but it's like, ooh, let the twin connect. Oh God, yes, please let the twin, y'all still holding on to twin connections. I'm gonna get my belt. I don't care where you at. I will get on spirit flight. I will come to your house. I'm gonna put you over my knee and I'm gonna whip you. You understand? I'm gonna whip you. I will whip you with the belt over my knee. The moment you post the video at midnight, I went into a meditation. Everyone heart was one, and we all started going green. And I hear, "We are woken." Then we are all on wings. Oh, dude, yeah, that's some beautiful stuff. Like I know people got set free. There's no doubt in my mind. And I hope the people, like the people who did that, if they're here or listen to any of this, I never cared about a twin connection. I feel you. I'ma whip you. I'ma whip you, B. I'ma whip you. I'ma whip you because I love you. Reparations from the ancestors. Heck yeah, dog. Yeah, dude, it's like that's the thing. Another thing I wanted to say when we talk about people who are like bloodlines, like those who believe in bloodlines and things of the sort, and clearing karma for bloodlines. One thing specifically, there are people in our collective, I mean in all collectives really, but just speaking specifically to you guys, there's people who are masters who've incarnated with specific families to heal like generations. And it's not necessarily that you have any connection with these people. It's just more or less seeing like a line in need where it's like toxic patterns generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. And it's more or less you coming in as a person who has incarnated many times at the level of spiritual mastery. And it's like you're coming in as that cleansing agent to transform like the DNA of that line. So everything that comes after you, because it's like you stepping out, it kind of regenerates them in a sense. You're not anti twin flame if you know that your twin is Jesus. Hey! Oh! Oh! Oh, sis Jesus, Lord have mercy. Whew. You ain't anti-twin flame if you know that your twin is Jesus. Oh! Oh! Wait a minute. If that child, child, I ain't never heard nobody say nothing like that. Drops mic. Drops the goddamn mic. You ain't anti-twin flame if you know your twin is Jesus. What? Neighbor, I got a word for you. What? I'm Jesus. Technically, yes. I'm done. I am done. That right there, that was a word for somebody. Wow. Now y'all know I be all in and out of different like ethos and things, but that right there, that was fresh. Absolutely, dog. That's the only thing I say. Like I was talking to them earlier about like something my daddy used to say. Like when my daddy used to say, like, the enemy can disguise itself as an angel of light. It's like that's what happens with the twin flame union. Like we talk about like skipping steps in ascension and how you shouldn't, use substances and stuff like that to skip the stages. Is like go through the process, be an honor to the process, allow yourself to go through the process in order. And it's the same thing like with the twin flame ethos. It's like depending on the level of awareness that we're at, we can only interpret wisdom that we come in contact with at the level that we're at, right? So if we come in contact with the twin flame union on a level of awareness, we have that certain level of understanding of what it's about because we don't know that anything else exists above that now, because that's the way ascension works. It's like the next level does not exist until you get there. So whatever level you're at, you think that's the top tier. It's like I'm woke. I understand. I'm a spiritual person. I have spiritual words. I have spiritual gifts. But it's like there's still so many levels that we aren't aware of, and you don't know till you get there. And it's like just like I was telling them earlier, how my understanding of God throughout my life, with me growing up Catholic, to me becoming like non-denominational, to studying Buddhism, to becoming, a spiritualist in so many words, a student of the gnosis and things of the sort. It's like who I've known God to be has evolved with me because it's like spirit meets us where we're at the level of awareness and consciousness that we're at. But it's like nothing ever stays constant. So the same with a twin flame union. It's like if we're not understanding it in a way to where it's serving us, like that's why I wrote Motherfuck Twin Flames, because it's like, and that's like therapist in me, because there's people coming in my office telling me that they can't leave situations where they're being destroyed because this is my soul in another body. Like, I have to do my healing with this person. Like, yes, they're doing this and this and this, but it's my fault because I'm still not healed. They're reflecting me. If I wasn't doing this, they wouldn't treat me like that. And literally, like, it was making me sick to my stomach hearing this because it's like, dog, this is not okay. That's not okay at all, you know? So it's like, I say that in a sense, if you're in a situation, a twin flame situation where it's still taking away from you and is no longer adding. Like, if you think about the most epic version of you, and this situation isn't feeding into that, it doesn't make you wake up and feel like a goddess that's levitating on air. You know what I'm saying? Reinforcing what it is you already feel and believe about yourself, it's not in service to you right now. And what it's actually doing is working as a dark distraction and inhibiting your progress. So it's like, the thing I say is, like, for me, I'm not anti twin flame, you know, but it's like my ethos on it isn't much like, I think, the general understanding of it, but it's neither here nor there. It's a school of thought, but it's like, regardless of how a person believes it, if it's not in service to you right now, it's useless. It's like, put it on the back shelf until it's in service to you. You feel me? Exactly. Loving yourself that much. It is stunting your growth. Hmm. And that, y'all, like, whew, makes me all emotional. It's like, see, and I mean, it's people very, very serious about that. It's like, no, it's like, you don't understand. It's like, this is all my fault. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with me and why I can't heal it. And I'm just like, my God, my God, that's not, mm-mm. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, dude. Self work is harder when you're with someone. Even more so when you have a person who isn't on that same page. How I woke up this morning. Girl, fuck him. That's what I'm talking about. Do you have a brother? Me, I do. I do have a brother. Dude, for real. How do I explain? Wait, how do I explain my path to my counselor? Is that what you said? How do I explain my path, my counselor? Addiction is a toxic element with me and a Taurus. Oh man, yeah. You seriously helped me pull out of that mess. Oh, Mel, I love you, my babe. I'm so glad. Yeah, dude, like, you, all of us, you are. Oh no, I have a twin. Well, people think that we're twins because we legit look exactly alike, but we not twins though. New year, new love. Yeah, man. It's like, you have to be your number one priority. Oh, explain your path to your counselor. Man, that's a tough one. That's something that's been coming up to me a lot. A lot of people have been asking me, like people who are in psychotherapy, um of how to explain that, but it's like, dog, we all have specializations in different areas, but it's like, but we learn so much about different religions and stuff as a level of understanding that we should have to an extent. But I do find, like, in our realm, like, when you're talking about like gnosis and 5D, 3Ds and all that stuff, th- to some, mental health professionals, the first thing is going to be like, we need to screen for psychosis. You know, it's a fine line. So I understand the struggle. I understand the struggle with that. But I always say it's like your therapist is supposed to be in service to you and your process. And if you feel that your therapist isn't equipped in your area of need or in understanding facets of your life, it's like you have the right to terminate the relationship. Because I tell it to my clients all the time. It's like, even if you don't like me, it's like if you hire me as your therapist and you realize, like, I really don't like this bitch, I was like, please, like, terminate the relationship with me. Because if you don't like me, or if we're not vibing, or if I'm not well versed in something, which I'm gonna admit my limitations. Like if somebody comes in and their belief system is spaghetti monster God, of all the religions I've read up on, that one not so much. And because that's the premise of your life, I would rather you go to someone who's more in service to you. But I would say if you have a therapist that you feel like, if your spirituality is a huge part of your life like that, and your therapist doesn't understand, I would suggest, like, for the best interest of you, you want to be with someone who can understand that, because there needs to be a level of fluidity, because that can inhibit your healing process. Yeah. And that's because a lot of, like, because transpersonal psychology is a thing, but it's still fairly new. I'm not gonna say it's fairly new, but it's like people are just starting to realize, like, oh, like the board let us do that. So we could like talk about that stuff, like numerology, like we could do numerology in sessions. Like people are just starting to come into the awareness of that. So a lot of people who are um spiritualists have a tendency to hide it, because it's a thing of, people thinking that you're woo woo, tutu woo woo, you know, and thinking that would block you from having clients and stuff like that. Y'all know me, I don't care. I'm like, if you meant to be around me, the Lord gonna lead you to me. I'm just saying. But but that is something that's like really important though. Yeah, dog. I think that that's a beautiful thing. That's a very beautiful thing. Nah, dog. Like people will really do it because it's the fact that, like, what I do is I give people permission to use their power. And I say that in a sense of like the bigger scheme of things of us as human beings. We've been so conditioned that with the most simplest things, we don't know that we have the right to ask for. So a person who comes into a therapeutic relationship, they don't know, like they'll assume it's like maybe it's me that's the problem, like that I'm just not feeling this. But so there are people who would do that. I've never, and this ain't me tooting my own horn or nothing, but I ain't never had that problem, you know what I'm saying? But I always say that in the very beginning, because a person's healing process to me is more important than me trying to hold on to you as a client if it's not in service to you. Because I feel like I'm hurting you if I'm doing that? If your therapist has crystals in their office, you might be in the right place. Huh, like me. One of my clients just gave me one today. I like on my little table next to my chair, I got buku crystals all on the table. Oh man. How about Michael Jackson? Come on. I love Michael. Yeah, man. Real talk. But let me get back into y'all little stuff. Let's see. Oh, last thing was we're integrating energies from every year prior. So the lessons from every year prior. And what I mean by every year prior is all the way back to 2009. So pretty much we're standing at the threshold of 2020 because it's first day of January. So it's like if you would imagine like there being like a little line here, and you have like your little journey or woke backpack. And it's like I'm standing behind you and I'm like, all right, we're about to slay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're going to get these lessons from 2019 you need. And we're going all the way back to 2009. It's like, this is what the theme was. We're putting all that with you. What you guys are going to be doing is I'm also showing you the years that vibrationally are linked, which I'm about to get into specifically with 2019. Because 2019 is a repeat of a year that you lived before. So the dope thing about this is when you start to look at each of the years that are interlinked, and you look at the fact of this decade, you can literally be able to chart your awakening, the epic shifts, like relationships, all of that stuff you're going to start to see because you're just plugging it into this format, you know? And with this particular year, well, let me go to 2016 first. With 2016, and that's for those of you who twin flame collective people, or those of you who resonated with that message I got of the trumpet sounded in 2016, December of 2016. They heard the trumpet sound in December of 2016. What that is that there is something that was very, very clear to you then. It's like I said, it's either spirit speaking to you, it's an epiphany that you had. So to put it into a frame, say you were dating someone and it became very clear to you, like, I don't think this relationship is healthy for me, right? So by December of 2016, you were fully aware of this, but yet you went into 2017. Maybe you didn't talk to him, but somewhere along the year, you got back with that person, and it's been a back and forth, literally from then all the way until like this year, well, last year, 2019. And finally in 2019 is when you got to the point where it was like, you know, I don't deserve this. I don't have time for this. Why does that spirit brought that up? Is because you knew that shit in 2016. I told you that in 2016, but you just want to just keep doing the same thing. So it's a duality in the sense of you realizing personal accountability of the fact that you knew this in 2016. Like the trumpet sounding means like you had awareness, like it was the wake up call. You knew, but it's like you still chose to go in direct opposition to what you knew. So it's in the sense of like getting the whole collective to see with whatever that is for you, how you saw your truth and you denied your truth in service to someone else's. So you vacated yourself. When you knew what was in your highest good, you vacated yourself and you put time, energy, and effort over the course of time into another person when you knew the truth. Because the same conclusion you came to in 2019 was the same one that you came to in 2016. Now, where this is important is the why. It's like, why did you choose to deny the truth that you knew in 2016? Why did it take you? Like, what was it that motivated you to deny divine truth and to follow that path to ultimately end up where you were prior to, right? In a sense, it's rhetorical, but that's what it is that you're looking at to get these tools for you. Because it's like all of the tools that we learn, the wisdom that we learn on this whole journey, it's found in situations like that. Is if I knew this then, and in 2016 knew this, 2019 learned this, okay. It is like I knew this then. What was the motivation? What did I think was going to happen? What made me think that that truth wasn't the truth? Because those are things you want to know, because these are things you can safeguard against going forward. So when you find yourself in a similar situation, you could be like, I did this before. This is what motivated me to do that. And it's like, this is familiar to me. Don't want to make that same mistake. And you can sidestep it. So it's like, that's how we're overcoming like pathologies in a sense, in a very tangible way, you know? Yeah, man. Because that's important. It's like, and I mean, it's real because you think about it, it's like if spirit spoke to you. So for some of y'all who may not have known if that was spirit that spoke to you or not, or if it was your own self-doubt, by 2019, it was very clear that that was spirit because the same conclusion was reached. But it's the thought of like, why did you believe that that was spirit? Why didn't you believe that that was truth? But I say it in a rhetorical sense, but these are questions you guys would be reflecting on that are gonna give you epic ass epiphanies. Wait, was that Paul? You back target. Your face Paul was up right now. Oh, Paul. Dog. I want y'all to know, everything y'all feeling, I feel like I'll write this stuff down. I was like, damn, spirit, damn, spirit. God damn. Real talk. Real talk, dude. She woke, stay woke. I like that. But it's real. And I can say that to y'all, like that process right there, that is a method that you're going to continue to use on this journey that you're on until the day that you transition from this realm into the next. It's like it's a form of self-analysis. But it's just, we have to be guided to know where we're finding these answers at. But I feel for a lot of y'all when y'all sit with that, because I mean, some of y'all probably like sitting up here like, oh Lord, oh, like brains exploding and things. But as you start to go to this process, it's like you're gonna start to see it. So the more that y'all work through this, it's almost, I can tell you what it's gonna look like because it happened to me. It's like you're just gonna be journaling one day, then all of a sudden you're gonna get this little hazy feel, and it's almost like suddenly stuff not really taking off the page, but it's almost gonna be like the pattern is going to lift off of the page, and suddenly you're gonna see it, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my freaking god! How did I not see this?" But it's not gonna be in a sense of like, "Oh, I'm an idiot." Nah, it's just gonna be like, "Yo, like that was right there in my face." It is like, I knew that, but I didn't know, but I see it. And it's like, that's when you have one of those epic shifts where you literally, like how I was talking about earlier, when you get like that, I give zero fucks. Like when you get that type of awareness of a pattern that you've been stuck in, it's like, bump that. I don't have time for that foolishness. It don't get that serious. Ain't nobody outside myself that goddamn important. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first epic part of it with you guys. And the thing I thought was so funny, I showed them in the live earlier that Spirit literally had me write this, to write 2016 and then write 2019 backwards. Now we're going to get into the other element of where this makes sense. But when I did that, can y'all see it? Can antidepressants suppress spirit messages? No. Mm-mm. Nah. Victim or victor? Victor. Y'all saw that? You're dyslexic? What? Yeah, dog. I wrote that and I looked, I was like, oh my God, that totally threw me off. Now, where this 3 comes from, I'm about to get into that. But that literally tripped me out because it's a mirroring effect. Yeah, it's 9 and then 6. So 2006, 2016, 2019. And it's the fact that you got your 6, you got your 9. And then with the 3, that's coming from what I'm about to tell y'all now. But that literally, like, I wrote that. I was like, why would I be writing 2019 backwards? I don't get it. But I was like, oh, that's weird. That's freaking weird. Like, that totally threw me off, y'all. Oh my God. Paul, I cannot deal with you. Yep. And then when we look, I feel like I just sounded like Bad Baby just now. Yep. But yeah, yin and yang. And then we look at what were we just talking about? Last year was the feminine, now we're coming into the masculine. Because in so many words, the beautiful thing about this is it's continuing repeating messages. So even with the fact that December last month was extremely important in 2019, because just like I said with that 12, it was a 12 month, you know, and a 3 year. So it's like it's the double, you know? I love that too. 2016 mirrored 2019. Well, 2019 mirrored 2016 in the sense that it was something that you got then that you got again in 2019, but is wanting to understand why I knew this then, but it's like I ultimately did in 2019 what I could have done in 2016 and wanting to understand the why behind that. Heck yeah. Real talk. Yeah, mirrored like a motherfucker, right? Dog. Yep. That's exactly it. I love y'all. So then when we're looking at the numeric vibration of 2016 is a 9 year, right? So in so many words, in 2016, you guys were called called out from amongst them. For each person that means something different. For some people, like I said, it's like this new introduction to a spiritual path, or it's ascending to another level on your spiritual path. For some of you, it was like that first little ping of your path, purpose, something like within that realm, like you stepping into your truth. Where that comes into the importance of the mirroring going on between 2016 and 2019, especially people who are in the twin union, it's the thought of like you were led to spirit because of that situation, or spirituality became a part of your life right before you got into that situation, but is needing to see that since then, right? Like this is a year where a journey within was to start as like the descent of the self. Like 9 year, it's like we're talking about like the inner hell, like dark night of the soul, going through this vindication process with ourselves. And it's the thought of like another human being comes along and it's still wanting to unearth that. It's like where you were spiritually or what you aspired to spiritually in 2016. It's like, are you any closer to that? If it's in a romantic sense, a family sense, friendship sense, have these people, have they helped you get there, or has this been a deterrent from that? I'm saying it in a rhetorical sense, but that's data you guys are gonna want to know, because that's still giving you more power in the situation, because you're seeing how you made decisions, gave that power away. Gave that power away. And it's not anything to feel bad about, because last year was a personal empowerment year. So you stood in your power by the end of last year. But it's the fact that those years prior, like, what was it that made you just give it, give it, give it type of deal, right? Ooh, child, it do be like that. Real talk. Dark nights is not what's hot in the streets. And it says a desire to seek spiritual knowledge, um a year of self-discovery. Even if you didn't do these things in 2016, these are still like little nuggets we can take to put in your backpack, you know. So spiritual knowledge, self-discovery, getting comfortable with spending time with yourself, getting clear on the concept of what going within means, but a reassurance of like feelings that were felt in 2016 is like insecurity, not feeling sure of yourself and feeling like lost AF, right? But it's more or less learning a balance between your inner and outer world. So if that's not something that you mastered in 2016, That's something that's going in your backpack of, going into 2020, this is still something that you would be mastering, right? Now, going into oh, this is funny. 2019 was the graduate school to the undergrad of 2010, right? So when we're looking at the year 2010, 2010 has the same numeric vibration as 2019, right? So in essence, 2019, you were reliving 2010 again. So you had higher level lessons with this 12 energy, but it's like whatever was missed in 2010. So if it's anything you didn't get, or big karmic kind of stuff that dates back as far as 2010, those were a lot of the elements that you were dealing with in 2019, right? And it's funny with a lot of people that I've said that to, like people in my life, it's just like it's them stopping and being like, "Bitch, you know what?" Like that is the response. Like, you know what? Do you? I know you lie. And it's when you start to see those same elements. Hey, Charlie. 2016 is a year I would love to forget my entire life was going to shit. Dude, I feel you. I so feel you. 2016 was not what's hot and straight right now. Guy said 2010 was trash. 2010 was a crazy year for me too. Dog. Yeah. So vibrationally, it's the same year, but you had more responsibilities in 2019 with it having a dual number, because all of these other years, it's a singularity with the number. Like, so when you add up all of those numbers, it's a single digit. There is no double digit. But with 2010, the theme and lesson centralized around discovering one's own personal power. Now, notice that 2019 was about self-knowledge, personal expansion, and personal empowerment, right? Like implementing my power. 2010 was centralized around discovering one's personal power. So this is a new concept at that time. It's like just getting acquainted to exactly what that is, right? So it's discovering this power, aligning with this power, connecting or reconnecting to God, creative inspiration, a desire for abundance and growth, and the seed of the glow up was planted here. So the glow up is what we're going into in the roaring 20s. But it's like the first seed of everything that you have become, everything that you have unfolded to since 2010, like that year, that's when that seed went into the ground. So what you are existing as now and what will continue to unfold going forward, that seed was first planted in 2010, you know? So many started new things, relationships, educational paths, jobs, personal development. Many were married, some were divorced, some had children. This year marked the bloom of seeds planted in 2009, right? And that's where like our whole decade begins. Beginnings of many things maturing or ending in 2019. So from 2010 to 2019, it's like there was a level of an exchange. Either the things that were started here or acquired after this point, those things either ascended to another level, right? Like reached maturation, they've been growing with you all the way to it, ascended to another level, or these are things that have since ended, like died. You know what I'm saying? It grew a little bit and then that bitch was just like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But it's more or less that culmination. So this is in a sense marries those 3 years, and that gives you like an encapsulation of what it is that you're dealing with going into 2020. Yeah. I realized that for myself too. The path that led me here started for me in 2010. And I didn't even realize that. So I was like, wait a goddamn minute. And it's like, oh wow, no way. Legit. I was hard in the paint in the church in 2010. But yeah, man, it's like that year, that was like beginning. So you went from that 3 to this 3. So it's revisiting those things and then learning that higher lesson of seeing the mirroring between these two. And then for some of you, is that middle point with 2016.